morning. I need to stop coming on camera, girl, with no makeup on. I really need to get my life together. But you know what? I'm always on the move. Welcome to my channel. In case you're new here, my channel focuses on fashion and travel and beauty. And recently I've been doing these closet confessions where I just talk about a series of issues. And today I want to talk about colorism because you know what? People are getting on my nerves. And they want to gaslight dark-skinned women and act like we don't experience colorism. Now, obviously, we all experience it on a different level. And it is, you know, it is ingrained in our society. It is the little sister of racism. But people who try to gaslight dark-skinned women and act like we have just made up colorism, y'all are on my hit list. Now, let's address the obvious. I have on braids because I'm going on vacation. Literally tomorrow, I have an 8 a.m. flight to London. Doing a couple of days in London. And then I'm off on my way. But I wanted to talk about colorism because recently we had a dark-skinned content creator. She's South Sudanese. She took a break from creating content on TikTok because people were basically accusing her of over-exaggerating, doing stuff for clicks and views. And she, in the king spirit of Nima Tang, if you've been watching, you know, YouTube videos for a long time, and she has said that she's inspired by Nima Tang, then you know that there are dark-skinned, specifically South Sudanese women who get on the internet consistently and do the Lord's work. And they are testing to see if different products work for dark skin. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's important. I think that is valuable. I think it's interesting. My skin is not as deep as hers, and I still make sure I check out her videos to see what shows up on her skin tone because it's important to me not only to support her, but also if it works for her, it's going to work for me. Period. Right? And so she adds value to the market, and she is actually a very big content creator. But she talked about being gaslit. The internet loves to gaslight dark-skinned people. Every single day, specifically dark-skinned women. And we're going to talk about it today. So first and foremost, I got on Threads, which is like the Instagram, Twitter. And I basically was like, the internet, specifically social media, loves black couples, hashtag black love, except when the wife is dark skinned. Hello? Like, y'all are not going to sit here and tell me that that's not true. Especially when the man is deemed desirable. Especially when the man is over 6 feet. Especially when the man looks like he has good resources. Like he is well traveled. He seems to be like mildly kind. He's masculine. The internet loves a black couple. But they need that wife to be brown skin or light skin. They do. They need that wife to be like light brown. And don't let them be young. And the man is like desirable and the woman is dark skinned, they are so mad. I will say this. I am not one of those married women who think that every single person or is hating on them or like single women is hating on them. No, sister. I don't think anyone's hating on you. You may have one hater, maybe two. I might give you two in your local like community, but nobody's hating on you because you're married. People are actually feel sorry for you. To be honest, marriage has such a bad rap out here in these streets. Nobody is sitting out here feeling sorry for themselves because they're not in your situation, especially if you're dealing with a lot of stuff. So no, I'm not one of those married women that are like, oh, she's hating on me because I'm married. She's hating on me because I'm married now. I'm married and the girls are hating. Like, girl, who? Quickly now. Who's hating on you? If it's a person hating on you, they hate on you for a host of things and not just because you're married now. Like, I guarantee you in the general public, that's not happening. Especially not in metropolitan areas like New York City. Nobody is sitting around sad and hating and wish that was them that was married and you are in a struggle love situation. That is not the situation. That is not the case. But when it appears on the outside and definitely in the inside that the relationship is going well, that all is going well, and the man is deemed desirable and beautiful and somebody's hashtag life goals, and people really relate to that man. When the wife is dark skinned, there is this group hatred happening primarily on social media. I think that we have to be honest. A lot of times marriage is social capital online. We can't sit here and act like it isn't. It is social capital online. People get to see the way you interact, etc. And maybe I'll do another video on that. But some girls got the game twisted because they think, oh, it's just like, we want to see your husband. No, we want to see your husband if he's age appropriate, if he's well resourced, and if he's fine and funny and interesting. Like, hello? We don't want to see your husband if you're big mama and like, girl, you're reminding us of settling. That's a separate video. But let's talk about dark-skinned women. Let's talk about dark-skinned women being loved online and why that triggers people so much. I think that so many people in the community, specifically in our black community, they want to gaslight black women, specifically dark-skinned women, and tell us that what we're experiencing is not what we're experiencing. Now we're experiencing it. They're like, we have so many other things to worry about. At the end of the day, we're all black. At the end of the day, we're all black. No, we are capable of having nuanced conversations. If you're not capable of having a nuanced conversation because you're not intellectually rigorous, then that's on you. You go ahead and tap out of the conversation. But we are capable of talking about a multiple of different things at the same time. We're capable. You're not capable. And you should say that. I think some people talking about colorism makes them feel uncomfortable. And as a dark-skinned person who has a light-skinned daughter, I've always talked to my daughter about colorism because I want to make sure she's equipped for those conversations as a person as a light-skinned girl who has dark-skinned girlfriends, the way men treat you, like desirability politics, all those things. Your perception of beauty, your perception of self-beauty, your perception of your friends' beauty, the friends that you make. But one of the things that I cannot stand about the colorism conversation is when dark-skinned women complain about colorism or talk about it, merely have a conversation about it is deemed as complaining, and complaining is just like the worst thing you can do. People want dark-skinned women to suffer in silence. People want dark-skinned women to not bring up these challenges that we're having. And people want to reduce colorism that dark-skinned women face to desirability, pretty privilege, or the way we experience relationships or treatment from men. They want to reduce it to that. When we talk about colorism on a global scale, it affects people globally in parts of Asia, in South America, in Central America, on the African continent, in Europe, definitely here in America. And it is not simply about how women are treated by men. No. We know globally, and there are statistics that prove this, that dark-skinned people are treated poorly, more poorly than their lighter-skinned counterparts, white counterparts, but also lighter-skinned counterparts. In some parts of the world, dark-skinned people, just by virtue of their skin, is considered nasty, dirty, negative connotations like loud, negative connotations when it associates to women, like, too opinionated, right, like all of these things. And from a systemic perspective, we know in the United States that dark-skinned people are more likely to get arrested. Dark-skinned people are more likely to go to a judge and get a harsher sentence. We know that statistically and systemically, dark-skinned children are more likely to get suspended from school. We know that institutionally and systemically, that dark-skinned women are more likely to face pregnancy or maternal mortality challenges, right? Are more likely to die in childbirth because the doctors perceive us to be able to feel pain less than our lighter skinned counterparts, that we can take pain, that we are strong. There are so many statistics. Dark-skinned people are less likely to get employed. Dark-skinned people have a higher rate of homelessness. This is not made up. This is not just people are complaining about a man not choosing them. Men are not the center of our lives. We're not trying to get chosen consistently all the time. There are some women who understand the desirability politics. They understand the desirability hierarchy that puts lighter skinned, white women, thin women, young women at the top of the hierarchy. And some of us don't care and don't believe in that. You're not going to psych my mind out. You're not going to make me go crazy because you've decided that this is beautiful. No, I'm beautiful. No, I'm beautiful. And you're not going to tell me that I'm not beautiful because I'm dark skinned. You're not going to tell me that I'm not beautiful because of the shape of my nose. You're not going to tell me I'm not beautiful because I have Afrocentric features. You're not going to tell me any of these things and expect me to believe them. And then when I don't, something is wrong with me. No, you're not going to gaslight me. It's not going to happen. This is a social experiment. And I don't have to believe in that. And I don't have to have low self-esteem. And I don't have to feel sad because I'm not chosen by a man. But it has greater and far more consequential. It's more consequential than just a man choosing a woman. Right? For example, I've been at jobs where I've had dark-skinned black men who clearly prefer to date white women. I don't care. Okay? I don't care. And I don't know too many black women under the age of 45 that do care. I don't care. My issue, sir, is when you decide that I can have more work because I'm dark skinned. My issue, sir, is when you decide that you can speak to me any kind of way because I'm dark skinned and you think I'm rough and you think that I'm tough and that you think I can take it. No, I'm going to cry at the drop of a hat. Don't play with me. I have feelings. I have emotions. I am not a robot. I have dark skin because I've been blessed by God. Because melanin loves me. Because the sun loves me. Because ancestrally, I have been blessed. That doesn't make me rough and tough and hard and able to take more pain than another woman. It doesn't. And I think that when we talk about girl-on-girl friendships and relationships, platonic relationships, I think it is so challenging when you are trying to have a conversation with your girlfriend and she is reducing your experience to that of a man. Let me tell light-skinned women who are friends with dark-skinned women what not to say. Let me just tell y'all what not to say. When a dark-skinned woman is complaining or talking to you about her very tragic, life-shattering experience with colorism, whether it be with a man, at a job, whatever, let me tell you what not to say. Dark-skinned women are so beautiful. Well, of course we are. Hello? Of course we are. But you telling, as a light-skinned person, telling a dark-skinned woman or girl that she is beautiful when she has just told you the most traumatic and violent thing that has ever happened to her, you are reducing her experience to one that is cosmetic. Of course, I know that I'm beautiful. I'm not talking to you about that. I'm talking to you about the way that I look in this world is affecting how violently someone is treating me. And you're telling me that I look beautiful. I know I look beautiful. I know I look beautiful. I don't subscribe to desirability politics where light is right and light is at the top. I don't subscribe to that. But you are telling me when you say that this is what I hear, and I know people mean well, because it works on girls, small, dark-skinned girls. It works well on them. But it doesn't necessarily work well for an adult woman who has built her self-esteem and knows that she's beautiful and grew up in a home for whom black is beautiful. It doesn't work well when you say that someone is beautiful because you are basically saying that you subscribe to the beauty hierarchy where light is right, but asterisk, now you see me as also beautiful. Could you imagine if you were downtrodden on your last leg and a white woman came up to you and said, "Oh my goodness, you're so beautiful. Oh, you're so beautiful." Every black person, light, brown, dark, it doesn't matter, knows that when a white woman is so astonished by one's beauty, it is primarily because her perception of beauty has been challenged by you and your skin tone. That's why she's going on and on, because she can't believe it. She can't believe it. And so it feels similar. I know it's not the same. I don't want to I know my light-skinned sisters mean well, so I don't want to say it in a negative way. But I do want to say it so that you understand that it doesn't hit the way you think it hits. When somebody is telling you that they can't, you know, some of the young girls in their 20s, they're telling you they can't get into a club, you know, because the bouncer is saying they're dark skinned and Chris Brown doesn't want a lot of dark skinned girls in the club. Hello? Baby, and the dark skinned girls go up for Chris Brown. Go up for Chris Brown. Whole time. Every single day he's got an issue with colorism. Every single day. Okay? Your response should not be that you think I'm beautiful. Girl, of course. Of course I'm beautiful. Of course I'm beautiful. I have dark skin. Of course I'm beautiful. Like, girl, you telling me that I'm beautiful to be dark skinned is not the tea that you think it is. It's really not. We can go face for face. Yeah, we can go waist for waist. It's always gonna eat. Are you serious? Like, don't let that beauty hierarchy fool you. Okay? It's gonna eat. It wasn't about that. It was never about that. It was just about, you know, it's the overwhelming experience of colorism that you feel like sometimes you can't do anything about. And a lot of times, some dark-skinned women, their response to another dark-skinned woman is like, why do you care? You are so beautiful. You are this. I understand in the moment, it is about relieving your cosmetic, you know, deficiency. Sometimes it is simply about, you know, beauty. And you, as a light-skinned woman and a dark-skinned woman, you know your friend. So if it is about telling her she's beautiful in the moment, by all means, tell her she's beautiful in the moment. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't cure all. It doesn't just magically erase colorism, right? I grew up in a home where black was always beautiful. And I'm here to tell you that when I went in, yes, it equipped me with everything I needed in this world. And so, yes, I believe that parents telling their daughters that they're beautiful is helpful. It definitely is helpful. But I'm telling you, it is not the cure that you think it is. It is not the cure that you think it is. That she just has to love herself. Could you imagine losing your job because you're black? And somebody telling you, well, if you just love yourself, if you just stop worrying about what these white people think. Like, girl, it's not that I'm worried about what these white people think. It is that they institutionally, they are in charge of these capitalist systems. And honey, they're in charge of the coin. And I need to be able to access the coin so that I can make sure that I don't, you know, starve. Hello? Like, and reducing it to like, it's just my mind. It is just simply, if I change my mindset, if I just manifest a different reality, then somehow systemic colorism won't matter. No, it matters. It matters. And you're not about to gaslight every dark-skinned woman that you come across and say that it doesn't matter. It matters. Colorism is violent. Colorism is systemic. Colorism is problematic. It seeps into our relationships. It seeps into representation. It seeps into almost every facet of our life. And denying it doesn't make it go away. Another thing for some of my light-skinned sisters out there, and this one is going to hurt. It's not, I shouldn't reduce it to just light-skinned sisters because it's dark-skinned women, brown-skinned women as well. Saying that you wish that you, oh, I wish I was that shade. I wish I was that shade. But here's the thing, girl. Love you so much. You're not. And you're never going to be. You're never going to be. So you saying that doesn't contribute to the way that I feel. No. Some dark-skinned women who are not necessarily the most intellectually robust, that might hit for them. That doesn't hit for me. That doesn't hit for me. Like, no. No. When a dark-skinned woman is coming to you and telling you her challenge, you need to listen, you need to acknowledge, and you need to also reflect to her how she feels, and that this is equally, yes, this is horrible. Yes, this is bad. I'm sorry that you experienced that. You are a door. You are not a light-skinned person. You are not, yes, you're a black person, right? But you do not personalize it and then come to that conversation with how you experience the world. That's not helpful. You're not helpful. That can in a lot of ways be harmful. I will tell you another thing that light-skinned women do. And brown-skinned women and dark-skinned women, all black women do this to a certain degree. And this one is controversial. This one is controversial, so you might want to buckle up for this one. Because my sister, she doesn't agree with me when I say this. I believe that one of the biggest red flags for me when befriending a light-skinned woman is when she goes around telling people that she loves dark-skinned men. And she loves a big dark man. And because of that, she is not colorist. Like, well, I can't be I love dark-skinned men. I love dark skin. And I love dark-skinned men. But you only have one dark-skinned female friend. And she has a small nose. And she has no Afrocentric features. And so she really, like, she's dark-skinned, but she doesn't have, she might have 3C hair, she doesn't have Afrocentric features. So she really doesn't have the black girl trifecta. Do you understand? And the body's T, and she's dressed T, and she's rich, and she's young, and she's, thin, and all these things. But you're going around saying that you're friends with dark-skinned women, or you're not colorist because your husband is dark-skinned. Well, that's the thing about dark skin. You girls associate dark skin with masculinity. And so, of course, you have a dark-skinned man. And, of course, you're praying that your kid comes out brown-skinned at best. You really want your daughter to be light-skinned. And you really want your son to be dark-skinned. Because you see light-skin as feminine. And you see dark-skin as masculine. Hello? So I'm not impressed that you have a dark-skinned man, or did you find dark-skinned men attractive? Girl, everybody finds dark-skinned men attractive. Everybody in the world finds a man that's over 6 feet tall, that's dark-skinned with a full beard, girl, and 4C waves or locks and dreads. Girl, what did Glorilla say? Everybody finds that attractive. I'm not impressed. That doesn't mean that you have escaped from internalized colorism because you have a dark-skinned man. No, girl, the verdict's still out on you. The verdict is still out on you. I don't know anything about you. So you have a dark-skinned daughter with 4C hair because you married a dark-skinned man with 4C hair. And now you're online talking about you don't know how to do your daughter's hair. Girl, your hair is 4A. But because you heat damaged it, now you want everybody to think it's 3C. And you talking about you don't know how to... Your great-grandmother is white. I quit. Because see, now I'm dragging it. But you know what I'm saying? It's just like the inter-community dynamics. It's like, no. I want to know how you treat dark-skinned people that you work with. Dark-skinned men that are walking down the street that you don't know. How do you treat dark-skinned women when you think of dark-skinned women? Or do you always think that dark-skinned women are loud and boisterous and opinionated? And do you associate those characteristics with negativity? When I see these girls on TikTok, they're doing elegant black women, elegant women, luxurious women. They're always light-skinned women. Wearing cream and tan. Biracial adjacent. They're pretty. Of course they're beautiful. Because I find a lot of people beautiful who look different. There are light-skinned women with, Afrocentric features. I find those women beautiful. There are light-skinned women with Eurocentric features. There are all kinds of different light-skinned women. So it is not about light-skinned women individually. It is about systemically and the way society treats one. In a lot of ways, like I tell my daughter, that has something to do with you in a way, but it is all in how you approach the situation. It is all in how you treat the people around you that matters. Don't stop gaslighting people. Stop trying to tell people that they're beautiful. They know they're beautiful. Hello? Maybe the young girls don't know, but they know that they're beautiful. Don't do that. And so that is one of the challenges when they're talking about online and some of these lists, dark-skinned women that are beautiful. There, first of all, is Jasmine Tukes. Okay, she's got 2A hair. Love Jasmine so much. She's very fab. She is definitely that girl. So I'm not coming for Jasmine. They're also talking about, when they are talking about dark-skinned women with Afrocentric features, they almost always have straight hair, are almost always thin, are almost always young-ish, are almost always very, very feminine. Very, very, very feminine. Dresses, pink, hair not an inch out of place. It's not even an inch out of place. Do you understand? Hair is impeccable. Face is beat, done. It's no minimal makeup. The outfit is incredible. The body is T. Do you understand? Meanwhile, these light-skinned women are getting by on being light-skinned and buying glass cups from Amazon and athleisure from God knows where and lighting candles. Yeah, you know what we say in the black community. Black people have to work twice as hard. Yeah, well, dark-skinned black people have to work 3 times as hard. Amen? 3 times as hard. It is a rat race out here. And to reduce it to simply just about whether or not we see ourselves as beautiful or someone else sees. Girl, I don't care nothing about, I don't care what a man on the street sees me as beautiful or not. I want to make sure he has not internalized colorism, so that when I reject his offer to join him on the curb in unhoused life, that he doesn't then physically attack me because he likens my dark skin to masculinity and maleness and manness, and therefore he believes that I can take violence. Hello? This is serious. This is not a game. This is not just, I need to find myself beautiful. Girl, what? Do you see the way that dark-skinned women adorn themselves? Do you see the way that dark-skinned women take care of themselves? Do you see the way that dark-skinned women have to smell delicious and great and wonderful? We can't go out here having bad days. God forbid you have light-skinned women on YouTube every day come online without edge control. We not put on edge control. We're unkept. Because of the way that our hair comes out of our head. It is considered unkept if we don't use edge control. You can't even grow as a YouTuber, a TikToker, an Instagram. You can't grow on social media unless you have like a natural girl niche. But girl, you can't grow. You have to be overly groomed as a dark-skinned woman. And y'all trying to gaslight us. And to say that we just need to love ourselves. No. No. This is systemic. Colorism is systemic. It is the little sister to racism. It is. Another thing that people need to understand, I alluded to this earlier, that dark skin affects genders differently. So differently. And dark-skinned men are more likely to be incarcerated, so are dark-skinned women, and more likely to get harsher sentences, are more likely to be experience violence from police, There's so many things also that affect dark-skinned men. And also dark-skinned women experience a whole host of other, in addition to, challenges, because it is also at the intersection of sexism. Saying that, will all women get treated poorly? That's reductive, is problematic, and you're demonstrating that you do not have the intellectual rigor to engage in this conversation. And that's okay. Just don't say anything. If your reaction to a dark-skinned woman telling you the most violent and volatile colorist incident that has ever happened to her is to say all women get treated poorly, you are reductive. And you are not capable intellectually of having this conversation. You're not. Go somewhere. We understand that you don't like conflict. We understand, right? We understand that you can't understand how we can talk about this and talk about racism and talk about sexism and talk about classism, a myriad of experiences that affect individual black people and people at large globally at the same time. Because you don't have the capacity. You need to bow out. That doesn't have anything to do with what we're experiencing. And I think people want women of all colors, of all races, to be quiet. But especially black women. Even more especially dark-skinned black women. And I just honestly refuse. I think for the dark-skinned women out there, you just have to be you just have to be really well informed. And you have to stop believing the things that people tell you about yourself when they don't know any better, right? Like, this is systemic and it is internalized. Nobody is going to tell me, I'm looking at this woman. You're not going to tell me that this woman looks better than me on any day, on any continent, in any weather, with any outfit, just because she's light-skinned. It's not going to happen. You might fool those other girls, but you're not going to fool me. It's not going to happen. Now, I have to admit, I'm not the most solutions-oriented person, but I will offer some solutions because I feel like for some lighter-skinned women, this can feel like really harsh, and I don't want to isolate women. But because I have a unique experience as the mother to a light-skinned daughter, and I feel like, listen, I don't want to pat myself on the back, but if I really had to brag about one thing in my life, it would be my child, okay? I've raised a near perfect girl. I've got to be honest. She's a great girl. She might mess around and change the world. You know what I'm saying? But what I will say is what I've said to her. And I think it has worked for her and it matters to her, is that the first thing that you can do, especially when you're trying to gather your thoughts, is to listen. You want to listen. You want to take it in. You want to empathize. You want to show and display empathy. You don't need to overdo it, but you want to hear what they're saying. Take it into account. Stop being overly geeked and super excited when a dusty man finds you attractive. He might think you're attractive just because you're light-skinned. Ask that man who else he's dated. If he's only dated light-skinned women, you need to run. If he's a black man and he's never dated, and first of all, if you're his first black girl, my God in heaven, you're in trouble, sister. But also, if you are his first, if he's only ever dated light-skinned women, you need to run. Also, when it comes to dark-skinned women, if you're his first dark-skinned woman and you like, he said he don't even date dark-skins, and he dating me, like, girl, you're a loser. Lose. You have lost. Girl, that is not cute. That is deeply, systemically problematic. When people talk about colorism vis-a-vis pretty privilege or desirability politics, stop telling people, well, I am pretty, or girl, people are detaching themselves as a beautiful person from the system. So they're talking about it from a systemic perspective. When I am talking about pretty privilege, I'm always talking about it from a systemic perspective. When I'm talking about desirability politics, I'm always talking about it from a systemic perspective. Because even inside the black community, she's got some privilege. She's very pretty. Okay? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of dark-skinned women are. So it's not about you don't experience colorism because you're not beautiful. A lot of dark-skinned women are beautiful. People know they're beautiful. People see them as beautiful, and they still experience colorism. There are men that find dark-skinned women extremely attractive, date them, love them, treat them well, but as soon as they're upset and mad, want to lay hands on them because they're dark-skinned. And how dare they? And this man, I chose you. And now you want to buck the system and you want to act the fool. And I could have had this light-skinned baddie girl. She's a baddie. Hello? Yeah. This is why I say it's multi-layered. And so you want to listen, you want to take it in. Also, be conscious of your friendship spaces in your friendship circle. Be conscious of that, because you can gravitate towards other light-skinned women and other light-skinned girls and not diversify your space in a way that is very reflective of the black community. At the end of the day, light-skinned women and light-skinned people are still a minority within the black community, whether we acknowledge that or not. When somebody is talking to you about a systemic issue like fashion, right? We're at a place in fashion where all of the American models, almost all of the American models that are black are biracial. The other black models, the global black models, are being fetishized, and they're from East Africa, primarily South Sudan, or they're South Sudanese looking, like, so Senegalese. That's an even different conversation, right? But like, black women who are from certain parts of the world, they don't get a lot of say in the industry at large. When people are having meaningful, robust conversations with you like that, and that is not your experience, you should listen and do your research. Don't refute. What are you refuting? You don't know. You can't refute colorism because you don't experience it. Hello? How are you telling somebody that's not their experience or that's not your experience? Of course it's not, Miss Thing. How can it be? You're very, 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 very light-skinned. Last thing I'll say for people combating and thinking through colorism is be careful who you hire, how you treat people that work for you. Be careful how you treat people around you, restaurants you go to, stores that you frequent, and be mindful of the experiences of dark-skinned people because it's really important. If you like this kind of video, please like, please comment, please subscribe, and hit the bell notification.